guys, we're gonna do scenario 5. We're gonna talk about it. So we're given a assets and liabilities T-chart. So we have the DD, which is $10,000, and the RR, which is $2,000, and given a $0 in ER. First question asks us to calculate the required reserve ratio. Required reserve ratio is the amount of deposits that the bank is required to hold in order if they need it for something else. So we are given the RR and we're given the DD. So we set up a ratio of 2,000 over 10,000. And from there we get 0.2, which basically in fraction form is 20%. 20% is your required reserve ratio. Then the next problem asks to find the excess reserves. To find the excess reserves, we take the DD that is given and subtract it from the RR that's given. So we have your 10,000 minus your 2,000, and you get $8,000 for your excess reserves. Then is asking for the change in the dollar value immediately after the purchase for your demand deposit. Well, there is no change. There is no change in your demand deposit. And why? That's because the money is already counted. So there is no change in the demand deposit. The only change is in the composition of money. Then when we get to C, we talk about C. C is asking for the maximum amount the money supply can change as a result of the purchase of the bond. So we take the $8,000, your ER. So the formula to find the money supply is ER times your money multiplier. So you take your ER, which is $8,000, times your money multiplier. Your money multiplier is your 1 over RR. So your 0.2, 1 over 0.2, which basically is 5. So 8,000 times 5, and you get $40,000. $40,000 is the maximum amount that the money supply can change as a result of the purchase of bonds. Now, the purchase of bonds, that's an open market operation. When the Fed purchases bonds, the money supply increases, and that is to combat a recession. Then, the fourth problem, D, is asking for when the Fed purchases bonds, what happens to the price of the bonds in the open market? Well, the price is going to increase because the bond becomes an asset. And remember, it's an open market operation. When the Fed purchases bonds, it's to combat a recession, and that increases the money supply. So since it's increasing the money supply, your prices will increase. So, see down here. The bond becomes an asset. Then for your final problem, E, I'm gonna erase this. If you want to get back to it, you can pause, whatever. Okay. Final problem is asking for, suppose that instead of the purchase of the bonds, an individual deposits $8,000 into her checking account. Now, what is the immediate effect on the cash deposit on the M1 measure of the money supply? Well, when a person deposits money into the bank, there is no immediate change. And that is because the money that's deposited is already counted. It's old money, it's not new money. It's old money, so the money is already counted. When you deposit money, the only thing that does change is the composition of money. So the answer to E is that there is no immediate change because the money is already counted. So, no immediate change. Then, since this was all a single bank. A single bank works differently than a bank system. A banking system is is a combination of all the excess reserves and the money multiplier, whereas in a single bank, it just focuses on that one bank. That's it for scenario 5. Thank you.